Most engineers are still using last year's AI tools. I'm Migo, a former engineer at Instagram, and I'm here to share the 5 AI tools worth it in 2026. For context, tons of esteemed engineers and programmers have moved past previous tools. People like Linus Torvalds and Andrei Karpathy no longer write code by hand. Instead, they're using AI tools to generate all of their code for them. So without further ado, these are the 5 AI tools I recommend for you in 2026. 1. Cursor. Cursor is the AI tool most people start with, but because of paradigm shifts, its whole pattern has just diminished in 2025 and 2026. It was famous for introducing tab autocomplete. You'd press tab and it would complete the code for you. However, at the end of 2025 and into 2026, we have moved on to the era of agents. Agents, you just tell it what to do and it solves the problem for you. Another problem with Cursor is that it is editor bound. While it is nice to look at the code in an editor, the new paradigm is having many different tabs and terminals and just asking an agent to do whatever you want to it. The third problem is the token usage in Cursor just does not compare to other CLIs. There was analysis done where it costed much more for using Cursor as opposed to using Claude code on a per token basis. If you looked at it, it was something like $500 in Cursor tokens was the equivalent of 3,200 in Claude. So it made way more sense to use other CLI tools. Cursor feels like it was optimized for 2023, but the world has moved past that in 2026. Number 2, Gemini. Gemini has impressive reach, but surprisingly weak fundamentals for coding. It has great Google integrations, so you can create images with Nana Banana, you can use it for a variety of different coding tasks, but it doesn't compare to other CLIs in large part because there isn't quite the same tool set that others have. For instance, when I was using Gemini CLI, I noticed I wasn't able to search for previous chats or open up even old chats. I would have to restart every single time. The advantages, a larger context window, but as we've learned more and more about CLIs, it's clear that context windows aren't everything. Context windows degrade performance over time. Overall, it feels a powerful ecosystem stapled onto an unfinished product. Number 3, open code. Open code is the right philosophy, enabling open source development, but the wrong trade-offs for most people. What are the benefits? One is that it's open source flexibility. The code is open source, so you don't have to worry about vendor lock-in. It is similar to Cursor in that you can switch between different models. You can use a local model, you can use a different provider, so you could use a Claude-based, or you could use OpenAI. The model switching is very powerful, and it is agent first, which puts it in a level above Cursor. The problems are the integration loop feels loose. If you end up using it, you don't have the integration with a single model. They have their own model in open code, but it's nowhere near what the frontier labs are. So what ends up happening is you either end up paying for closed models anyway, or you need to pay for a rig that is strong enough to run the largest open LLM models like Quen or Kimi. So I feel that open code is a great idea in principle, but it still makes sense to go with a couple other providers. Number 4, Codex. Codex is fantastic at thinking, but weak at execution. Where is it strongest in? It's very strong in reasoning. OpenAI has been at the frontier of different reasoning models, and you can see it in Codex. If you give Codex a prompt, create this database schema and migrate everything to use this, it will think for 5-10 minutes and then it will execute. This is in stark contrast to the other CLIs, which will often just start executing and then you have to fix it. This is great for one-shot plans. It's awesome to use Codex and compare it to something like Claude and then use them against one another to revise your plan and improve it. And then try it in Codex to one-shot and execute the whole thing. Where Codex falls flat is weak self-correction. If you give it a prompt and it ends up failing at that prompt, it takes several iteration cycles before you can get it to work properly. I've had this case several times where I would give it a very complicated prompt and it would be able to one-shot it, but for some of the cases where I would say, migrate this database schema to use this, and it failed, I had to constantly update it and try several things and eventually relied on Claude to fix it for me. Another thing with Codex is I found it wouldn't let me do things without permissions. I tried to have it update the database by itself without me having to run the commands, and it refused to let me do so. I had to end up using Gemini CLI to do it. So at times, the permission nature of Codex just isn't quite there with other models which let you do almost anything. I found in Claude Code or Gemini CLI there was less guardrail. In short, for Codex, when it works, it's brilliant, and when it fails, it can fail pretty badly. Number 5, And the best CLI tool, AI tool that I recommend for everyone is Claude Code. There's no surprises here. Claude Code is the first tool that actually feels like a senior engineer is there helping you throughout the way. What are the pros of it? The tight model integration. Opus 4.5, as of this video, is the best model out there, and Claude integrates with it perfectly. It feels like you can just ask it to do so many things, and it's able to do it immediately. Claude Code has incredible integration with a variety of agents. They have sub agents, they have so many different tool calls that they can make. It's just consistently amazing. I've used it in head-to-head tests with Gemini CLI and Codex, and I found that it's able to more often than not solve my problem than these other CLI tools without requiring a lot of feedback from it. A lot of respected engineers have come out and said how impressed they are with Claude Code, from Linus Torvalds to Andrei Karpathy. Another factor about Claude Code is the models and ecosystem around it. We're talking about MCPs, plugins, people talking about Ralph loops, the Claudebot, just everything seems to be built around using Claude Code. And it just makes the experience so much better than any of the other CLI tools, which don't have the same ecosystem. Right now, it's the one I trust to get things done. If you're choosing one tool to invest time in 2026, Claude Code is the tool for you. But I'm curious what's been working for you. For me, Claude Code has been the best. People at Airbnb, Facebook, a variety of different companies have been using it. So please leave a like, subscribe, and a comment about what AI tools have you been using. And I'll see you in the next video.